$80,000. Gone. Just like that. When my mom died, I was 12. She was everything. The glue, the planner, the protector. Worked 2 jobs, nurse during the day, grocery store clerk at night, and still packed lunches, helped with math homework, and tucked me in with a smile. What I didn't know back then was how hard she'd been grinding for my future. She had a college fund in my name, over $80K by the time she passed. Enough for tuition, housing, books, everything I'd need. Since I was a minor, my dad became the trustee. I didn't question it. He said, "Your mom's dream will come true. I'll protect that money like it's my own." Now I realize how twisted that line really was. After she died, it was just us. At first we managed, but by the time I was 14, weird stuff started showing up. Betting slips, scratch tickets, late-night phone calls filled with yelling about odds, weekends where he disappeared and came back looking wrecked. One time he smashed his laptop into the wall. When I asked what was wrong, he snapped, "Stop acting like your mother." Fast forward to senior year, my dream school sent an acceptance letter. I ran into the living room waving it like a maniac. He barely looked at it. "Community college is cheaper," he muttered. I stood there confused. He'd always said mom's savings would take care of it, so I called the bank. They couldn't give me an exact number since I wasn't 18 yet, but the lady on the phone said, "There's not much left." That was the moment the floor dropped out from under me. That night, I confronted him. He yelled, "You don't trust me after everything I've done? You think raising you was free?" He claimed he just borrowed a little during hard times and would pay it back. But my aunt told me the truth. He'd been blowing it at casinos every weekend. Told her he was on a streak, trying to double the money before college started. Instead, he lost all of it. $80,000. When I called him out again, with Aunt Linda sitting there, he didn't deny it. Just shrugged and said, "If you were smart, you'd understand money comes and goes." That line kept looping in my head while I applied for emergency scholarships, picked up 2 part-time jobs, and lived off dollar ramen packs. Final straw? I came home one weekend to find him watching poker streams, fresh casino chips sitting on the coffee table. I asked him how he could still gamble after what he did. He looked right at me and said, "Don't be dramatic. I had it worse at your age." That night, I packed up and left, blocked his number, never looked back. Then came the letter. It was from the bank. There was a second trust, $150,000, set to release on my 21st birthday. Turns out mom had thought of everything. But my dad? He had already started legal proceedings trying to get early access, claiming it was for my education. Total lie. I was paying my own way with loans and side gigs. My roommate Rachel saw me go pale reading it. I called the trust department and yeah, it was real. And worse, Ohio has some legal gray zones when it comes to 18-year-olds with delayed trusts. He was exploiting them. Said he needed the money because I was in financial hardship. I wasn't. He was. I called Aunt Linda. She broke down. She knew. He'd told her about the second trust and made her promise not to tell me. Swore he'd pay her back once he got it. He'd even borrowed from her too. That night, I stayed up reading every article I could find on trust law. Rachel made tea and sat with me in silence. The next morning, I skipped class and went straight to the financial aid office. Marcus, my counselor, sent me to the university's legal clinic. That's how I met Grace, a third-year law student who didn't flinch when I showed her the documents. She found a clause requiring court approval for early withdrawals. It was my lifeline. Then Dad called again. 16 missed calls before I finally answered. He screamed at me for getting a lawyer. Said mom would be disgusted. Later, he texted me a photo of himself at her grave. "She's crying in heaven because of how you treat your father." I deleted it, but I couldn't unsee it. Grace filed a formal objection. Then Dad's lawyer submitted a 40-page document accusing me of being brainwashed by radical professors. I had to explain to my study group why I was always missing. My friend Jake started a collection to help with fees. Sarah sent me her therapist's contact. Then Aunt Linda found his notebook. She'd gone into his house while he was out and found a black spiral notebook filled with records. Pages and pages of gambling losses. $30,000 gone in just the last month. Grace's hands shook flipping through it. $80,000 from my college fund, $120K in credit cards and loans. We had undeniable proof now. Click the full story to see what happened next.